With every good setup, you need that one solid credit card. Or two. What? Well, you can just have two of those same solid credit cards. Bro, what are you even talking about? Sometimes two is just better than one. First things first, if you find any value in this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be referencing a website. It's mine. Feel free to go use it. It's free to sign up. All you got to do is come over here to the sign up, click on one of these buttons, and you are in. Today, we're going to cover 12 credit cards where it makes more sense to have two rather than just one. And in some cases, 3 or even 4 might be ideal. A couple of these cards, possibly 3, you can just do on your own, but most of them will require a player 2. And if you're not sure what a player 2 means, it just means like your spouse or a family member where you're working together on points. Now, since I am covering so many cards, I'm not going in depth on any of them. I'm just gonna quickly hit each card and what the benefit is of having multiples of that card. Here we go. The first is the Citi Custom Cash, and let's face it, it's why you're all here, to talk about the Citi Custom Cash, right? So go ahead and go in the comments, put how many Citi Custom Cashes you have. I know you're dying to do it, just put it in there. Just give me the number. It's probably the most famous multiple card setup there is. I know it's possible to at least get 3. There might be cases where you can get more, but with the player 2, then obviously you could get even more than 3 of the Citi Custom Cashes. I don't think it's necessary to actually have more than 3, and I'll explain why here in a minute, but let's look at where that applies here. You might notice a new icon if you're a regular to the channel or use the site often. There's a little blue check here. You'll see that anywhere where there's a selectable category. So that signifies that this has a selectable category. So if you click on it, you'll see over here, you can choose the category. So why I have it like this, and most of the cards that we're covering today will have something like this for that card. And it's basically, I can't dictate what you're using this card for. I don't have any wire up to your bank and figure out, oh, they chose groceries for this month's category or for this quarter's category, or what you spent the most on. For example, on this one, it's what you spend the most on. So I'm just going to assume that you're going to get, for example, the Citi Custom Cash for a specific category, and you're gonna spend only on that category, because otherwise you're getting 1x. You're either getting 5x or you're getting 1x, and you're getting 1x on every other category that isn't your highest category. So you only wanna use this card for one category, so I just let you choose that category. So let's say you're using it for groceries, then you can just come over here, select it, and boom, it will basically give you 5x on groceries. When you're using it on the website, comparing it to other cards, it'll just go, this card has 5x on groceries. Now, if you have 2 cards, 2 custom caches, then you can go in here and select another category. So if you get gas, and if you had a third one, then you could say, I also get it on dining. Now, like I mentioned, I don't really think you need more than 3 of these cards. I'm sure there's a case, but I'm just saying, generally, the good portion of your spending is gonna be on dining, groceries, and then possibly gas. Other cards really cover the airfare, travel stuff pretty well. Drugstores, how much you spend in drugstores that you need a dedicated card for it. You've got the 3x on the Freedom cards if you want a decent spending on drugstores. Maybe entertainment, if you do a lot of entertainment type stuff. Maybe transit, if you're spending a lot on transit, I could see that. So there are cases to be made. Ride sharing, like if you're doing a lot of Uber, Lyft, or whatever, there are cases to be made. But I think in general, 3 cards is probably plenty when it comes to the custom cash. So if you have 3 cards, select 3 options, update your selections, and then come over here, and now they'll all be listed. And then when you're doing the comparisons, you don't really need to put 3 cards in there. It'll just automatically give you 5x on all of these. So that's one benefit to having multiple of these cards. The other way is just because it has a spending cap, as it notes here, $500 a month. If you're doing groceries, and also this could be a case for having even more than 3, is that you could have your player 2 have a grocery card and you have a grocery card in terms of the Citi Custom Cash, and you're both getting $500 a month for that. So that's $1,000 a month. Now you're talking $12,000 a year. That's pretty much going to cover all your grocery spend. And then you also could have one for gas and one for dining. You could have two for dining, player two, and you both have one for dining, and you're getting 5x. And then if you're transferring those points over to a strata, then you're getting 9x effectively in value on all this. You're not earning 9x, you're getting 5x, but if you're transferring those to the strata points when you're transferring to transfer partners are worth about 1.8 cents per point according to the pointsguy.com's website when transferring to transfer partners. And so effectively that's giving you a value of 9x versus the 5% cash back. Now the Citi Custom Cash is one of those cards where you can product change to it. When I say you could get up to 3, you're not going to apply for 3 of the cards. You're going to, obviously apply for the first one, but then you can apply for another Citi card and then product change it. Citi lets you product change to any card that they have. So even if you have like a Citi American Airlines card, you can product change to a Citi Custom Cash. If you had the Strata, you could product change to a Citi Custom Cash. The Double Cash, you can product change to a Citi Custom Cash. So whatever cards you can get, you can product change to another card. Next up is the Chase Freedom Flex. Now it is a quarterly category card, so you don't get to choose what your 5X category is. They choose for you each quarter. It's several categories each quarter. I'll go over that right now. If I turn on the quarterly bonuses, you'll see what the current quarterly categories are listed here. This is relatively new. I have the previous categories listed out too. So if you want to see historically what they had in the past for the last year, then you can just expand this little thing and it'll tell you exactly what the categories were before this current category. Also to note, when the categories are announced, I'll enter in those categories and then they'll show up here too, just to give you a heads up as to what the categories are coming up next. Usually it's like 2 weeks to a month in advance. They'll announce that. I'll throw them on the website, and then another box will be listed here similar to this one that will list out what the upcoming categories are going to be. All these categories earn 5x. Now, if you have another card that you can transfer the points to, like the Sapphire Preferred or the Sapphire Reserve or even the Business Preferred, then those points will be a lot more value. So 2.05 cents per point is what the pointsguy.com's website values the Chase Ultimate Reward points as. So it's effectively like you're getting 10.25x for your 5x. You're not earning, again, you're earning 5, but when you transfer them, you're gonna feel like it's worth 10.25 instead of just 5% cash back. And the Flex is another one of those cards where you can product change. You can't apply for a second card, but you can product change down from a Sapphire or from the Freedom Unlimited to get that extra Flex. Now, the benefit of that is these categories are capped at $1,500 a quarter, so that's $500 a month, essentially, just like the Citi Custom Cash in value when you spread that over a year. But $1,500 a quarter, $500 a month for whatever these categories, and they are shared. So if groceries is the category, you're also sharing that $1,500 a month with fitness memberships or self-care spa services. So all that's shared across with that $1,500. So having an extra one will give you $3,000. So that gives you plenty of money for groceries if you're just using it for your grocery card for that quarter. So extremely beneficial on most quarters. Some quarters, not so much. Some quarters are just kind of lame, as you can see down here. Do you really need $3,000 for a quarter for gas stations and entertainment? Probably not. Now, PayPal, you could probably squeeze out $3,000 and make it worth your while. Dining, of course, would be great to have $3,000 to spend. Amazon as well. I mean, because on your Amazon card that you have, you're getting 5x, but that's it. It caps out at 5x. Whereas with these, you can squeeze more value out by transferring to transfer partners. So having an Amazon for a quarter up to $3,000 would be great. Next up is the Discover It Cashback. It's just like the Flex in that it's quarterly earning categories, and they announce those obviously every quarter. I'm going to turn on the quarterly bonus categories where you've got dining, currently home improvement, and streaming services. You also have a category history here that shows you which categories it had in past quarters. And if you're just starting out in the credit card game, then this is a great little card to have. And if you're player 2, you would need a player 2 for this one. You can't get 2 cards. No way to get 2 Discover It cashbacks that I'm aware of. I think you can only actually get 2 Discover cards entirely, which is, I don't know why they do that, but oh well. But it also caps out at $1,500. So being able to double that and have $3,000 in spend on these is highly beneficial. So if, like I said, if you're just starting out, you don't have either the credit to get some of the other higher up credit cards, then Discover really is a great option for you. And to get to your player 2 and you both have that card, it's going to cover a lot in your normal spending. And they have good categories. So like one category was Amazon and Target. For people just starting out in life, this is really great. Groceries and Walmart, great categories. Home improvement stores, transit, and EV charging, not so much. And then you've got dining and drugstores. So good, solid categories, earning 5x. If you had a second one, $3,000 a quarter, that's $1,000 a month. That seems like plenty, and you're getting a good 5x on all of those. Next up is the AAA Daily Advantage card. So it has 5x on groceries, 3x on wholesale clubs and drugstores, in EVs charging and gas stations. It also has streaming, but it doesn't count that in the cap. So the cap applies to everything with the $ on it combined, not all the caps on all the cards are always combined. Just this particular card, all these caps are combined. So anything you spend where you see the red $, it's going to cap out at $10,000 for the year. And I know it's weird because it's like 3x on this and 5x on this. You are going to get 5x on this. You are going to get 3x on wholesale clubs. But when you hit $10,000 in spend, you're down to 1% on all of those categories, except for drugstores, which are pharmacy only, not just random stuff in a drugstore, and streaming services. So those 2 aren't capped. All the other ones are capped out at $10,000 total in that year. And it caps out and you go back to 1% after that. Now, obviously, the benefit there is if you are using this for groceries and also gas and wholesale club stuff, doubling your money and having your player 2, this is a player 2 card, doubling your money from $10,000 to $20,000, you're going to be doing great. Now, there isn't any extra ability to get more value out of the points. 5x is going to be 5% cash back, and that's it. So it'll be $500 that you can max out at if you're only using it for 5x spend. If you're using for the 3x spend, then obviously you got to do the math. But anyway. And AAA also has their Travel Advantage card that's very similar. It has a cap of $7,000. Now, it's only capped on EV charging and gas stations. So the other one had 3x on gas and EV charging. This one has 5x. The problem with the AAA cards is you can't get both of them. It's so silly. Bread Financial just, you can get one or the other, not both, even though they work great with each other. So I don't know. You could have your player 2 get the travel and then you get the daily advantage and work it that way. Or depending on what's more important to you, you each could get the same card and double the amount. So you could have, instead of 7,000 on gas, which honestly, why would you want more than that? Probably not, unless you're a long haul trucker, but you could get up to 14,000. So I think the daily advantage makes a little more sense in getting 2 of those cards than this one is, but I don't know you. I don't know your life. Maybe you use a lot of gas. You're a traveling salesman. Who knows? Anyway, you could get 5x at 14,000 as your cap if you had 2 of these cards. On to the infamous from last week, the American Express Blue Cash Preferred. So the big argument last week that I made was that this isn't always better than the gold because it caps out at $6,000. You're getting 6x on groceries, incredible. But it caps out at $6,000 for the year, which for me, that's not enough. Well, Dr. Gas, his name is Alberto, he's a great guy, pointed out that, hey, you could have 2, bro. And he's right. If you had 2, that's 12,000 now. That pretty much covers it. So if you had your player 2, get one, you get one, $12,000 cap, 6x on groceries, pretty insane because you don't have to work for that. There's no going to transfer partners, you're just getting 6x. That's great. Now there is a $95 annual fee, but you can get that down with the credit with the Disney bundle if you're already doing Disney. Now you're not going to get it on both. right? Unless you have 2 Disney bundle credits. So you're absolutely paying $95 for one of those. So there is that. You have to factor that in. So that brings your 6x down on one of those cards to like 4.4. So you'll have to do the math on that. Now let's talk about US Bank. So we got the US Bank Cash Plus, which has quarterly categories and daily categories that you can choose from. You have to choose the quarterly categories, and then I actually have this card and I don't even bother to figure out how I can change the daily categories because I don't really use the daily categories. I don't know why anyone would use these daily categories, but you can use them. So if you wanted to use your gas one day and then change it for dining the next day, there's so many other cards that have better offerings than this. What is the point of the daily categories? Don't even worry about it. Quarterly categories though, so you need to choose those in your account. So you go log into your account and choose those each quarter. It'll give you a little reminder. We use it for utilities for ours. It's $2,000 per quarter. It pretty much covers our electricity bill. It might go over a little bit occasionally during the summer, but it's not a big deal. We just leave it on there. Now, if you're using it for some other purpose, like maybe fast food, you eat a lot of fast food, I don't know. Cell phone, how about department stores? Okay, I could see that. Maybe you spend a bunch in department stores, maybe. Or you just have 2 cards for 2 different purposes. Your player 2 has it for department stores, you have it for utilities. Perfect reason to have 2 of these cards. You're getting 5x with a $2,000 cap on each of those. Again, like the custom cash, when you select those on the website, it'll show those down here and it'll use those for all your calculations when you're comparing to other cards, because you've told the system that, hey, I am using this card for utilities and department stores. So when you compare this card to other cards, this is what I'm earning. Next up, also with US Bank, is the Shopper Cash Rewards. It has a 6x quarterly category. It's very similar to the Cash Plus, but it's 6x. You do have a $95 annual fee, so you need to factor that in to your earnings. But the cap is $1,500 instead of $2,000 like with the Cash Plus. And the categories are mostly like department-y stores. I only have 3 that are on the website as legit categories that you can use and compare to others, because nobody else has IKEA. So comparing to IKEA, if you're gonna use this card for IKEA, guess what? It's gonna be the best. So there's kind of no point to do that, but I have the main ones that people normally use. Now, if you email me and make a great case for me to add chewy.com to the website, then I will consider adding it so you can check it. I don't know why it would matter. If you need Lululemon, I honestly don't know why it would matter. But anyway, comparing to Target or Walmart, and if you had 2 cards, then you could spend double the $1,500 cap at Target. Or if you had 2 cards with you and your player 2, then one could be at Walmart, one could be at Target. You're covered on your superstores. So getting 6x. Now that is 2 annual fees of $95. You need to factor that in. And I think that equates to 4.4x when you count the $95. So you're not really getting 6x, but there you go. Could be the case for you to have 2 cards. Next up is Bank of America. I really need to retire that bird. And it has a monthly category that you earn 3x on, and the cap is $2,500 quarterly, which is a pretty high cap, so you may not need that, and it's only 3x for those categories, and it is selectable. So each month you can select your categories, but it's weird because it's a monthly selectable category, but your earning is over the quarter, so of $2,500. So you can select your categories. You're only going to get 3x on those, which isn't super great. Normally you can, obviously with the other ones, we're talking about 5x, and it doesn't have any kind of transferability to transfer partners. So that's out. But let's just say you wanted to use this for online retail, which is pretty much the most popular way to use this card is for online retail. So we'll say that. So you're going to get 3x on that. Again, it's capped at $2,500 quarterly. However, if you're further on in your financial journey and you have at least $100,000 in your Bank of America account, you can switch it to the Platinum Honors tier, which is going to give you a 75% boost on your points. Now, if you have 20,000 to 50,000 and then 50,000 to 100,000, you can select those. So that's a 50% boost. The gold tier is a 25% boost. But let's just say you've got Platinum Honors tier, you have over $100,000 in your savings of some kind with them, some kind of account with them, then you're getting a 75% boost on that. We come back to the card, and now you're getting 5.25 on those monthly categories. Now that might be worth it for you and your player two to have multiple cards. So that's roughly $1,600 a month that you're getting to spend on online retail and getting 5.25x on those points. And this is earning 5.25x. So if you have that account, you automatically earn more. So there's no work involved other than having a bunch of money in a Merrill Lynch account, for example. You're gonna earn 5.25x on your online retail, or you could have two separate categories. So if you could have online retail and also dining. So you're getting 5.25x on dining, 5.25x on online retail if your player two has one and you have one. Now, the last batch are the Hilton Honors cards, the first of which is the Aspire. Now, there are no spending caps on these cards, but you do get credit. So you're able to double the credit if your player two has another card as well. So for example, you both get one free night annually, which is a good value. You get the $400 annual credit on the resorts, $200 semi-annual. Now, there's some tips on how you can use that listed here. I'm not gonna go over those now. I have a full in-depth video on all the Hilton cards. They're linked below, along with links to all the rest of the cards will be linked below as well. I have reviews on all of those. And then you've got the $200 airline credit. And if you include both of those, offsetting the annual fee, you're in the positive $50 if you use both of those credits for both cards. So the cards aren't costing you anything. Plus you get all these free nights and perks. And then you can even earn free nights by putting spend on it. So if you can both spend $30,000 or more a year, you'll earn these free nights as well. So plus you get diamond status, which comes with a bunch of perks. You've got the food and beverage credits and so on. So there's really good value in having two Aspire cards, but you got to be a diehard Hilton loyalist and using Hiltons a lot throughout the year. Otherwise, it doesn't really make any sense to have all these Hilton perks and Hilton credits if you're not staying at Hilton's a lot. So next we have the Hilton Honors Surpass. Same goes for this one. There's no spending caps to mention here, but you can get the annual credit of $200, which offsets that fee to, again, making like $50. If your player two also had a Surpass, then you both could be taking advantage of that annual credit. Now, right now, I don't recommend it until they figure out the whole gift card thing. The gift card's on a freeze. Go watch my Hilton Surpass video where I talk about that, link below. So I would hold off on the Surpass till you figure out what they're gonna do with this whole gift card thing. But if you are using Hilton's a lot and you can use this credit by having two of the cards, essentially doubling that credit and earning free nights on spend, there's a lot of great categories. You got dining, you got gas, you got groceries on the Surpass. So it's really easy to put spend on this card to earn those extra free nights. And if you both have a card, you're obviously doubling that. And then the last card is the Hilton Honors Business, which is virtually identical to the Surpass in the purpose of the benefit of having two. Now, this is the one that you could have on your own if you had two different businesses. You could open up two accounts, one for each business. The $240 Hilton Stay credit offsets the annual fee quite a bit. And if you had two of those, then obviously you could double that. Again, it's only going to make sense if you're a loyal Hilton stayer, then you stay multiple times a year, unless they figure out this whole gift card thing, again, linked in the video below. There you have it. 12 examples of how having multiples of the same exact credit card can increase your earning potential or just double your benefits in some cases, where in normal situations you wouldn't be able to do that. So here's what I want to know. Did I miss a card that you can utilize this way, or am I way off the mark on one of these cards? Does it not benefit you at all? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you find any value in the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Check out the website. It's completely free, and we'll see you in the next one.